A symbiote who is ready to destroy Earth. What will happen when this alien entity takes over Eddie's body? Will Eddie manage to control Venom and save humanity, or will this deadly symbiote change his life forever? Let's find out how Eddie and Venom team up for an epic battle to save the world. The story begins with a spaceship returning to Earth from space carrying 4 symbiote samples. Due to a fire on board, the shuttle crashes on Earth. The Life Foundation, working on this project, locates the crashed ship in Malaysia with the help of the police and retrieves the symbiotes. However, one symbiote goes missing. Next we meet Eddie Brock, a journalist living with his girlfriend Annie, who is a lawyer working for the Life Foundation. Eddie's unique investigation style and coverage make him a star reporter at his company. Eddie's boss assigns him an interview with Carlton Drake, the owner of the Life Foundation, warning him to avoid any controversial questions. That night, while getting water in the kitchen, Eddie notices an email on Annie's laptop from the Life Foundation. He opens it and discovers a confidential report stating that the Life Foundation is conducting experiments that endanger human lives. Next day Eddie interviews Carlton Drake. He initially follows his boss's instructions, but soon begins asking about the unethical experiments at the Life Foundation. Drake evades the questions and abruptly ends the interview. Eddie's boss fires him for confronting Drake, who is one of the city's wealthiest men and could potentially ruin the company. Annie is also fired from her job due to her connection with Eddie, leading to their breakup. Meanwhile, the missing symbiote named Riot has taken over the body of a woman in Malaysia. Exhausted, she searches for food and kills anyone nearby before transferring to another host. Symbiotes are alien species from another planet that bond with hosts, using their bodies for survival. 6 months later at the Life Foundation's laboratory, scientists are experimenting on one of the symbiotes with a rabbit to observe how it interacts with Earth's life forms. Initially, it seems like the symbiote bonds with the rabbit, but soon, both the rabbit and symbiote die. One day, Dr. Dora, a scientist at the Life Foundation, secretly approaches Eddie, revealing the unethical practices and asking for his help. Eddie accompanies her to the laboratory, where he witnesses people being experimented on, forced to bond with symbiotes. Eddie attempts to free them but ends up getting infected by a symbiote named Venom. Suddenly guards attack, and Eddie discovers that the symbiote has given him superhuman strength and agility, allowing him to escape. He runs at incredible speed, smashing through a large tree before finally making it home. Eddie feels extremely hungry and begins eating everything in his fridge, only to vomit it out later. In the mirror, he sees a monstrous reflection. Eddie contacts Annie and meets her at a restaurant, where he behaves erratically, eating food off people's plates and eventually jumping into a fish tank to eat crabs. Annie's new boyfriend Dan takes Eddie to the hospital. During a scan, the high-frequency waves cause Venom extreme pain, and he screams loudly, forcing Dan to stop the test. Dan advises Eddie to go home and rest. Meanwhile, Drake, through CCTV footage, learns that Dr. Dora helped Eddie, and he kills her. At home, Eddie feels weak, but soon, guards sent by Drake arrive. Venom fully takes over Eddie's body and fights them off, displaying incredible power as he hurts each guard. Eddie escapes on his bike, chased by drones controlled by Drake's henchmen. Using Venom's abilities, Eddie outruns the drones, destroying them one by one. However, when his bike collides with a guard's car, Eddie's body is severely injured. But Venom heals him instantly, taking full control and killing all the guards before jumping into the water and taking Eddie to safety. Eddie questions Venom about why he has taken over his body. Venom reveals that he is a symbiote from the planet Clinter, where he was a loser, just like Eddie on Earth. Venom wants Eddie to help him get back to his planet. At the lab, the missing symbiote, Riot, takes over a little girl's body and then moves into Drake. Meanwhile, Eddie, having gathered evidence against Drake, prepares to expose him. But before he can do so, the police arrive. Venom takes over, and though bullets have no effect on him, he fights off the officers. Just as he's about to eat one of them, Annie arrives, and Venom retreats, allowing Eddie to regain control. Annie takes Eddie to Dan for another scan, where the high-frequency waves force Venom out of Eddie's body. After this, Drake's men kidnap Eddie and take him to their headquarters. Drake, now fully bonded with Riot, orders his men to kill Eddie. But just as they're about to do so, Venom, bonded with Annie, arrives and saves Eddie by killing the guards, then rebonding with Eddie. Venom reveals that Drake plans to return to Clinter with Riot to bring more symbiotes to Earth, which would lead to the planet's destruction. Drake and Riot activate a space shuttle to bring the symbiotes to Earth, killing all the scientists in the process. Venom confronts Riot, leading to an epic battle. Riot, being the leader of the symbiotes on their home planet, is much stronger than Venom and severely injures him. Riot merges with Eddie, overpowering both him and Venom. But Annie activates high-frequency sound waves, forcing both symbiotes to separate from their hosts. Eddie and Drake begin fighting, with Drake eventually merging with Riot again and stabbing Eddie in the chest. As Riot prepares to leave in the shuttle, Venom rebonds, with Eddie healing him. Using Riot's own weapon, Venom cuts the rocket in half, causing a massive explosion that kills Riot, Venom, and Drake. Though everything seems back to normal, Eddie misses Venom. In the movie's final moments, Eddie feels Venom inside him again, hearing his voice saying, "I'm back." How did you like this movie recap? Let me know in the comments below and stay tuned for another movie recap. Until then, take care.